Murdaugh murder trial, we hear new details from inside the courtroom as investigators take the stand. More disturbing details tonight in the murder trial of Alex Murdaugh. The disgraced South Carolina attorney is accused of murdering his wife and son, and about a dozen witnesses have testified for the prosecution so far. A senior criminalist with the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, also known as SLED, took the stand today. Defense attorneys attempted to undercut the processing of the crime scene and tried to plant doubt about the legitimacy of some of the evidence that's been submitted in this case. Prosecutors also showed the jury multiple guns from the Murdaugh murder scene that were seized and tested. He is accused of killing his wife and son in 2021. He faces 99 charges total, including tax evasion. Murdaugh has denied any wrongdoing. Let's bring in WCCB News Edge contributor Ashley Anderson to talk about this one. This is a case that is getting national attention. They've got national news reporters in the courtroom every day. Matt Harris from the Matt and Ramona Show and of former Edge fame, he's got a huge podcast on this murder trial case, and now he's in the courtroom watching as well. What do you make of all of this?
Well, you know, to me it's super compelling, you know, actual true crime TV. And every day we seem to be getting a little bit more information that we hadn't gotten before. And I imagine that will continue to unfold. You think about a case as high profile as this, those prosecutors are not going to bring murder charges against this man unless they feel like they have a slam dunk. There has not been anything
because of his stature in the community.
Yes, okay. as a long time well-off family with big connections in prosecution, the judges, lawyers, you know. But you know, interesting today, the criminalist from SLED that was on the stand, the defense attorney just was hammering home on her. Is there a possibility that there was a second shooter, which is a big point for the defense, that there were two guns, two bodies, could there be a second shooter? And she just looked visibly annoyed to me the more he kept hammering home. And she's like, I wasn't there, I don't know. But is it a possibility that there could be two? She said, I mean, I guess it could be a possibility that there were two. But you get the feeling that that's what the defense is going to hang their hat on.
Right, and that's, you know, where this whole concept of beyond a reasonable doubt comes into play. If the defense rather, if his attorneys can get even a handful of the jurors to say, maybe there was somebody else. Maybe he didn't do it. That's a win for them. They don't have to, maybe he didn't do it alone even. They don't have to believe that he's not guilty of any of it. They just have to think that there's more to the story.
Reasonable doubt.
He wins.
Yeah, a reasonable doubt. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Morgan. Yeah, come back.
Okay.
We'll talk more
about. Well, Lucy just told us to wrap, so.
Okay, good.
Do you want to wrap or do you want to keep going?
No. If I think of it, we could talk about this all day, and hopefully we'll get Matt on the phone or on the Zoom with us at some point this week, maybe, to tell us more about what's happening in court.
This is another huge national story. Memphis police say more officers are off the job tonight in connection to the death of Tyre Nichols. We are going to show you a little bit of the video right now from the body camera videos. Before we show it, I want to take a beat. If you want to turn away, now is the time to do it. Okay. One officer relieved of his duties is Preston Hemphill. He is seen on video firing a taser at Tyre Nichols as he ran away from officers. The district attorney has not said whether Hemphill will be charged. 5 other officers have been fired and charged with murder and kidnapping, and the department disbanded this Scorpion unit.
I mean, just difficult to watch. What strikes me is just a lack of respect for human life.
We need a national conversation about policing in a responsible, constitutional, and humane way.
Be the Scorpion crime unit and sting them in
Yes, we do. The Congressional Black Caucus has asked for a meeting with President Joe Biden this week to talk about the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. That measure failed in the Senate in 2021 after clearing the House, largely along party lines. It is named after the Minneapolis man who died at the hands of police in May 2020. This video that was released Friday, Ash, I've seen a lot of police body cam video. This was some of the most difficult I've ever watched. As a human, it made me sick. As a mom, it made me sick. And to Jim Jordan's point, it seems to show a general disregard for human life.
Yeah.
Yelling at Tyree, put your hands up, put your hands where we can see them, while they're holding him by the wrists. Telling him to stop resisting when he is
on the ground.
Yeah, seemingly like in and out of consciousness even, is very hard to understand, explain, and justify in any reasonable way.
There's no way. In watching the video, it almost seemed like it was personal, like because he was very calm. He was trying to de-escalate the police, which, by the way, it's supposed to be the other way around.
Right.
You know, they are yanking him out of the car, throwing him on the ground, and he's like, I'm on the ground, I'm on the ground, it's okay, I'm doing what you ask, and they just keep the pounding. It felt like they were doing it, it felt personal, like they wanted to just beat him to death.
Yeah. There was unbridled rage, which is not ever what you want from yelling, you know, put your hands up, stop resisting. He pointed, he had a weapon. He did not have a weapon. Those things that you hear, the audio is more damning to me almost than the visuals, because you can hear the officers creating the narrative as they're going.
Well, he was running away, or he was blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah, there is no narrative that matches that response.
Yeah. And as we said tonight, more people off the job because of it.
Medics, EMTs, all of those people being investigated. I'm glad.
Yeah, the Scorpion unit disbanded. There's going to be a lot of change coming in Memphis.
Yeah, but you know what we need to discuss is a lot of change nationwide.
Across the country.
We've talked about this. So many cases over the past 20 years.
Right.
Just the change in what seems to be the police mentality toward not moving away from de-escalation into just
unrestrained violence. Yeah, and how many times do we have to have the conversation and see the examples? And well, we have body cam videos, so now police will feel more, they're going to be held to account. No, we just now have video that goes with it. We've got to do better. There's more Edge on the way. JR